Hello guys, it's Mr. Foley Games here, and in today's video I've got something absolutely awesome to share with you regarding the new perks that we could be seeing within Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there that provide speculation towards this certain topic, but there's actually evidence out there to show us that there could be these perks returning and new perks coming into Black Ops 3 Zombies. So a lot of what I'm about to tell you is not just opinion, it's actually fact. And now I will start off with the game files that were leaked 3 months before the Black Ops 3 beta. And so for those of you who don't know, a massive file dump was found within the Black Ops 3 beta files before the game was actually released regarding lots of DLC stuff, lots of items about perks, guns, stuff like that. And one of the main things that was found in there was actually something called ZN Castle. Similarly, you guys will not understand what ZN Castle means unless you've actually heard about these file things before. So basically what ZN Castle was the Eisendrache, and we've obviously seen that now as a map that's been released as DLC 1. So DLC data was actually contained within the game files before it was even released. Now, you might find that slightly unbelievable, but there was actually a description of the castle that actually came with this game file, and it said it was going to be set in Werfen near Austria, and guess what? That's where the Eisendrache is set, and it got it exactly right, so we know that most of this data, or if not all of this data, is actually fact and correct. So the next massive piece of information that came through these game files was actually the addition of a perk called Liquidity. Now, that's a perk that obviously we haven't seen within any of the maps that are in Black Ops 3 so far, so this doesn't rule it out completely, as it could be coming in DLC 2, 3 and possibly 4. And now for those of you guys who don't know, Liquidity is not an actual perk, and also it could be a code name for a perk or something else. I mean, it does have the description saying that obviously it is a perk, and it does come across that it will be some sort of perk, but that could be a code name for it given to it, so we don't know exactly what it is, because maybe they knew someone was actually able to get within the game files and find all this stuff, and understandably they wouldn't have left the leak open like that was so big to give us all this information, but it's a possibility they might have put there in order to mislead us or trace us onto something to give us some sort of hint as towards what the DLC would be. Now, that is a lot of information to take in all at one time, that a brand new perk was actually added within the game files before any DLC was even released. Understandably, they probably had concepts and ideas towards what these maps would be, but nothing had been released. Not even the Giant was released at this point, even the full game, so nothing was even considered yet. So the next main piece of information that was actually discovered within these game files before Black Ops 3 was released was actually about the perks Who's Who, Vulture and PhD Flopper. These 3 perks were actually released within Black Ops 2 and stuff like that, and they were seen in the previous maps, but they also were only specified in those certain maps. Like, for example, we only saw Vulture in Buried, and we only saw Who's Who within one map, which was Die Rise. And obviously everyone wanted to see PhD Flopper make a return in a lot of new maps, but it just never got there because they just never really got round to it, I don't think. And I get that a lot of you guys might just think this has all just been left there previously from the game files, because a lot of the data is just sort of copied over, and they've basically worked from that. That's been their baseline, and they've just worked their way up from that into Black Ops 3 from Black Ops 2. So obviously this could just be like file dumps that have just been left there and left over and not going to be touched again, which just obviously misleads us, but it could come into play due to the fact that PhD Flopper was one of those perks that everyone wanted to see again. Well, the perk Who's Who, obviously no one wants to see that again because it was just genuinely awful and wasn't even suited well to Die Rise, but Vulture one of those perks I think a lot of people liked and would like to see it return, but I don't think it will make a return because it was never really used in any other map, and if they really wanted to add it, they would have introduced it into new maps. So obviously a lot of the information within the game files has not yet come true, but it has a possibility in the future to come true. And the next information that wasn't actually found within the game files, but was released by Treyarch before Shadows of Evil was released, and this was a photo of Morgue City, and it actually had a billboard of 4 perks that were going to be within the map. Obviously this billboard within Morgue City doesn't guarantee us that these perks were going to be involved within the map, it just sort of gave us a baseline as what to work there, because Juggernaut was on there and we always see Juggernaut, but something else that was always on there was Widow's Wine, and that was obviously added into Shadows of Evil, and it was the newest perk we've seen so far. Brilliant perk, everyone enjoys it, but then there was something else on there, and if you look over to the second image on the right, it's actually 50-50. And this is a perk that we've actually never seen before, and it doesn't even look like some kind of perk, and it doesn't seem to have any sort of, resemblance with anything. It's just called 50-50. Now, 50/50 doesn't really give us any sort of description of what the perk could actually do, and that's exactly the same as liquidity, because we have no idea what that could do. It could have something to do with liquid, or it could have something to do with something completely different. But anyway, the 50/50, it doesn't have any sort of resemblance to anything, it just sort of halves it, and maybe you're going to get a second version of yourself or something like that. But that was like Who's Who, so they can't really make another perk that's exactly the same as an old one and just rename it or reskin it, whatever. It wouldn't work. So initially 50/50 might have been a perk that was added in, but actually got removed due to the fact that it wasn't really suited to the map Shadows of Evil, and obviously that's a very particular map and you need a lot of perks to actually do well on it, and it's not very easy to survive to those high rounds because there's not a lot of spots to train in other than the Rift. So yeah guys, that's going to conclude today's video about some brand new perks that I hope to be seeing, but anyway, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching, and please like, comment and subscribe. Peace out.